2 years have slipped away since that fateful moment when everything shifted. What was meant to be a simple day at the beach with my son Leo turned into something I never expected. Ethan, my husband, was left behind, a shadow in my heart as I stepped into the unknown. He just couldn't. Work had always been my priority, and solitude was my constant companion. But that day held a secret spark, something unspoken and electric, not just in the past, but even now. As the sun bathed us in its warmth, we quietly laid out the towels, hearts racing with unspoken desires. Perhaps the heat was just a little too intense that day. I sank into the quiet, savoring a fleeting moment of peace, and turned to Leo, my heart racing as I asked him to help me with the sunscreen on my back. I never let myself dwell on it. I have a child, my secret. Why should I even consider it? At first, it seemed like he was merely lending a hand. After that moment, everything changed. His fingers brushed against my skin, each caress igniting a fire within me. Daring to explore deeper, I let him go. Why didn't I take that chance? You think you understand your own heart? You're everything to me. Yet, in a single heartbeat, everything can shatter. It happened on that sun-drenched beach, where the waves whispered secrets, and the air was thick with unspoken longing. Since that moment, I feel like a different person, 15 years bound to Ethan, yet my heart whispered secrets of longing. To outsiders, we seemed perfect, a beautiful life, cherished children, and a calm routine. But beneath the surface, something deeper stirred, a connection that felt both thrilling and wrong. Only when you step in do you truly see the cracks beneath the surface. To be hollow is a sensation that only those who endure it can truly understand. For years, Ethan's heart was consumed by his work, a passion that felt both exhilarating and isolating. Whispers in the dark, stolen moments, and fleeting glances. He did it for us, I would whisper to my heart. His relentless effort and unwavering commitment were destined to change everything for us, to carve out a brighter future, even if it felt like a dream we dared not fully embrace. Yet, that way of thinking began to unravel, leaving only confusion in its wake. What is the value of a home that stands empty, untouched by love or laughter? He was slipping away, fading from my grasp. His eyes flickered past me, avoiding the weight of unspoken words as he stepped inside. He no longer inquired about my well-being, my desires, or what I truly needed. Our conversations were brief, filled with mundane topics like bills, food, and the kids. Yet beneath it all, a deeper longing simmered just out of reach. He felt a deep connection to Leo and his little sister, Lily, a bond that stirred something forbidden within him. He felt like a shadow, haunting the space between them. Even in their presence, it exists, yet it feels just out of reach. I would sit across from him at the table, my heart racing, wondering if he still noticed me at all. That morning is etched in my mind, a bittersweet memory that lingers like a secret we dared not share. Ethan dashed out the door, leaving me breathless in the kitchen. He grabbed his suitcase, pressed a soft kiss on Lily's head, and shot me a fleeting glance that lingered in the air between us. Forgive me. Freya, I can't be there today. He whispered that work had pulled him away, leaving an ache in my chest. I couldn't find the words to fight back. I simply nodded, forcing down the ache in my throat as I always do. I convinced myself it was okay. It could just be Leo and me, lost in our own world. At 16, Leo stood tall and slender, a figure caught between innocence and the thrill of uncharted emotions. His eyes, deep and warm, like his father's, held a softness that made my heart race. When I whispered that it would only be the two of us, his silence spoke volumes. He merely shrugged, grabbed the bags, and trailed behind me to the car, an unspoken tension hanging in the air. He sat in the passenger seat, music swirling around him, gazing out the window as the world blurred by, lost in thoughts that felt both thrilling and wrong. Text warmth spread through me, a secret joy blooming as I caught sight of him, He transformed in an instant, and I feared that if I blinked, he would slip away from me forever. As I drove to the beach, thoughts of Ethan flooded my mind, just like they always did. I recalled the moments we shared, each one a secret treasure hidden in the depths of my heart. Stolen moments under the stars, whispered secrets during late-night drives, and spontaneous adventures that felt like a dream. I remembered the way his fingers brushed against my skin, the spark in his gaze whenever our eyes met. Years had passed since my heart raced like that. I felt nothing at all. I felt invisible, exhausted from the longing to be noticed. Leo led me to a secluded spot by the water, our belongings in hand, the air thick with unspoken feelings. As he unfurled the umbrella, I spread the towels, our fingers brushing ever so slightly, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and wrong. There was an undeniable pull that drew me to him, a whisper of something I couldn't ignore. He was the only one there, and it felt like a secret meant just for them. Perhaps all I craved was a heart that would hear me. Isn't it beautiful to feel the sun on your skin? Even if just for a moment. I forced a smile into my voice, hiding the ache beneath. He swept his hair back, a silent agreement hanging in the air between them. He whispered, "Yeah, Mom, it's nice." His voice lingered, heavy with unspoken feelings. As I sank onto the towel, the sun's warmth enveloped me, igniting a spark of longing within. For a fleeting moment, I surrendered to the silence, hoping to escape the weight of the years that had burdened my heart. In that moment, the thought of the sunscreen felt like a secret, a small reminder of the warmth we shared. Even if it was just for a fleeting moment, I rose and caught a glimpse of Leo. "Can you help me with this? I need it close, but it feels so wrong to ask." I dared to ask. "I can't reach it." He hesitated, a flicker of something unspoken in his eyes. Before finally reaching for the bottle, I offered. I settled back against the towel, heart racing, as I tried to hold on to the moment, waiting for something I knew I shouldn't. His first touch was gentle, almost hesitant, as if he feared breaking something precious. It brought a smile to my face, reminding me of those tender moments when his small fingers intertwined with mine, guiding us safely across the street. I whispered to him, urging him to push just a bit more. Yet my voice trembled softly. "It's okay." As his hands glided over my shoulders and back, a quiet confidence blossomed within him, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and dangerous. The warmth of his hands wrapped around me, and I couldn't help but surrender to the moment. My eyes fluttering shut, I allowed myself to savor it, if only for a fleeting moment. It had been ages since anyone's fingers had brushed against my skin. The weight of that thought cut deeper than I ever intended to reveal. Then, his hands began to glide down, tenderly and slowly tracing the curve of my back. I gasped, my heart racing, desperate to find the words. But silence enveloped me. Even with a storm of thoughts swirling inside me, I chose silence. I convinced myself it was fine, that he was merely being kind, and that my heart was playing tricks on me. I felt the truth deep down, even if I tried to deny it. After he set the towel aside, his hands lingered, suspended in a breathless moment. Just shy of crossing a line, his uncertainty mirrored my own. Yet I let him continue, unable to intervene. Instead, I whispered words that haunted me. "It's okay. Your fingers can linger there too." The words lingered, heavy and charged, and the moment they escaped my lips, I realized I was utterly alone in this reckless confession. He remained silent, and Leo pressed on, heart racing with every step. I shut my eyes, heart racing, as his hands ventured into places they were never meant to go. I wondered if he could sense the wild rhythm of my heart, racing with a longing that felt both thrilling and wrong. My heart raced as I contemplated rising to confront him, the weight of unspoken words hanging in the air. I wish I had, but I didn't. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I let it linger, unspoken and aching in the silence. I can't quite grasp the reason behind it all, Perhaps it was the ache of solitude that drew them together. It might have been the longing for acknowledgement, even if it felt so wrong. Or maybe I had just stopped caring. On that fateful day at the beach, a fragile part of me shattered, leaving everything forever altered. Thank you for being here with me. Even when it feels like we're walking a tightrope, this is difficult to say, and I truly value your willingness to listen. If this story resonates with you or someone you care about, please show your support by liking and subscribing. It allows me to share more tales like this, filling me with a sense of connection, as if I'm not the only one yearning for something more. It's time to let go and embrace what lies ahead. After that day, nothing was ever the same. The way Leo's gaze lingered on me afterward, the weight of what had transpired, and the rush of emotions swirling within me were all unchangeable truths. It was a fleeting moment, yet it held a weight that lingered in the heart. It lingered on an unquenchable fire. His gaze held me captive. A magnetic pull I couldn't resist, though I couldn't quite understand the emotions swirling within it. That night, we returned home, and everything was hidden away, as if the world outside had never touched us. I did what I had to do, preparing dinner while my heart raced, stealing glances at Leo as he spoke about school, folding clothes in the quiet of the night, each moment tinged with unspoken longing. Memories of that afternoon flooded my mind, and my hands trembled with the weight of what we shared. His hands lingered, the tension in the air thick with unspoken words, and all I could think about was him. I was torn, guilt gnawing at me, especially since he made me question my own feelings for my son. Ethan remained blissfully unaware of the secrets swirling around him. He stumbled through the door, weariness etched on his face, his tie hanging loosely as if it too had given up. He kissed my cheek, a fleeting touch that whispered of a love we could never fully embrace. Was it a long day, filled with unspoken words and lingering glances? I reached out, hoping for a moment to share our hearts. He merely grunted, a fleeting nod exchanged, before he slipped away to the living room, leaving a whisper of unspoken words hanging in the air. The familiar routine, his presence lingered like a shadow, reminding me of the moments I faded into the background, unseen and forgotten. That night, Ethan's soft snores filled the room as I lay in bed, my eyes fixed on the ceiling, lost in thoughts that felt both thrilling and wrong. The silence of the house only amplified the chaos in my heart. Leo consumed my thoughts, a bittersweet ache that lingered in the shadows of my heart. His hands brushed against hers. His eyes held secrets, and everything that had unfolded felt like a dream they shouldn't have dared to chase. I had to let it go before it spiraled further, knowing deep down that it was a mistake. Yet, a shadowed, yearning part of me clung to it, craving the warmth, the gaze, and the thrill of being noticed. As the days slipped away, Leo remained silent, yet his unspoken feelings echoed in the air, more powerful than any confession. He couldn't resist me. Instead, he lingered near, the air thick with unspoken feelings. He would linger in the shadows, his gaze tracing my every move as I cooked, cleaned, or simply sat alone in the quiet of the night. I surrendered to the moment. I let the moment unfold, surrendering to the pull between us. The following weekend was stifling, the air thick with heat, and the house pulsed with an intensity that felt almost alive. He slipped away once more, swallowed by the demands of his job, leaving behind a lingering ache in her heart. Once more, it was only Leo and I, caught in a moment that felt both electric and wrong. I asked him if he was really okay with going back to the beach alone. I can't quite explain why I mentioned it. I once believed that stepping into the open air would clear my mind, but instead, it only deepened my confusion. I think I needed to challenge myself, to see just how far I could distance myself from it all. The silence hung heavy in the air as we drove, an unspoken tension between us. Leo chose to ignore the whispers this time. He gazed out the window, lost in thought, his restless knee betraying the turmoil within. I wanted to speak, to share the turmoil inside me, but the words slipped away. leaving only silence in their wake. The beach lay quiet and desolate as we arrived, a secret world just for us. The water shimmered like a forbidden dream, its vibrant blue calling to me, while the wind whispered secrets against my skin. Once more, we laid out the towels, and Leo was there, his presence a quiet thrill as he assisted us, the air thick with unspoken tension. This time, I couldn't find the courage to ask him to wear sunscreen. I shut my eyes and sank into the moment, pretending all was well, yet his gaze lingered, igniting a fire within me that felt both thrilling and wrong. He caught my gaze, and in that fleeting moment, everything changed. As the sun dipped low, everything shattered into a million unspoken words. We slipped away to the beach showers, the salty air wrapping around us as we washed away the day, savoring the fleeting moments before we had to part. What was supposed to be a fleeting moment turned into something I can't quite grasp, a spark that ignited in the midst of the mundane. Leo was the first to step beneath the cascading water, letting it flow down his back, a moment both thrilling and secretive. I lingered in the shadows, my heart racing as I observed him, before finally daring to step closer. In that moment, I couldn't understand why I shed my clothes. Standing beside him in the cool water, feeling the gentle caress of the waves against my skin, Leo's gaze met mine, a flicker of disbelief dancing in his eyes. His expression was a mystery, a veil of emotions that stirred something deep within me. It might be a spark of surprise, a whisper of doubt, or perhaps something more forbidden lingering in the air. His silence spoke volumes. As our gazes locked, I whispered, "You should take off your shorts too. Make sure to wash it thoroughly." My heart raced as the words slipped out. Unbidden and reckless, I was caught in a whirlwind of emotions, testing my limits, trying to prove I could control it all. Perhaps I was just curious about him, about us, and how far I could go. He hesitated, heart racing, before surrendering to the moment and slipping off his shorts. We stood alone, the rain cascading around us, a world apart from everything else. With a hesitant whisper, I turned my back to him, seeking his touch to ease the ache I couldn't voice. Indeed, he did, as always. His touch was gentle, almost reverent. The tension between us was undeniable. My breath hitched as his hands found their way to my waist, freezing me in place. The air hung heavy, the rush of water drowning out all but the pulse of their hearts. Perhaps I could have walked away. I could have stopped it all. Instead, I leaned back against him, entwining my fingers with his. Drawing his hands to my heart, he let me take the lead, surrendering to the moment. What happened next is difficult for me to put into words. I can't do it. It was a whirlwind of longing, solitude, and an unnameable connection that pulled at my heart. It was raw and electric. It was a rush, a whirlwind of stolen moments. It burned with intensity, a longing that felt so wrong yet so irresistible. I tried to pull away, but my heart wouldn't let me. I never intended to. When it ended, we lingered beneath the relentless cascade, the water washing away the visible traces, yet leaving the unspoken truth untouched. He embraced me, wrapping me in warmth that I hadn't felt in ages. I surrendered to him. After that moment, silence hung between us, heavy and unspoken. After a quiet stroll back to the car, we shed the remnants of the rain, gathered our things, and slipped away into the night. I caught a fleeting glimpse of Leo, his lips a deep shade of red, his movements rigid and hesitant. Deep down, I felt the weight of my mistakes crushing me. I knew deep down that we had ventured into a territory that was forever off limits. Yet, in that fleeting moment, I tasted life anew, a spark igniting within me after years of darkness. The car ride home was filled with an unspoken tension. The air in the car felt thick and suffocating, pressing in on us as if it carried the weight of our unspoken desires. Though my gaze was fixed on the road ahead and my hands gripped the steering wheel, my thoughts were a whirlwind of longing and desire. I could still feel him, the weight of that moment, his hands lingering, and the thrill of being so close. My heart raced as I stole glances at him in the passenger seat, a thrill coursing through me that felt both exhilarating and wrong. He remained motionless, his gaze lost in the world beyond the glass. His flushed cheeks and clenched jaw revealed the storm of emotions brewing inside him. Then, unexpectedly, his voice broke the silence. "Mom?" he whispered, his voice barely breaking the silence. I fought the urge to meet his gaze. I held my breath, torn between desire and fear, yet his voice wrapped around me like a secret I couldn't resist. What is this feeling that pulls at my heart? So intense yet so wrong. What happened between us back there? My heart raced with a forbidden thrill. I hesitated, tempted to pretend I hadn't heard him, to shift the conversation or simply look away. But deep down, I knew that denying it wouldn't change anything, not after the way we crossed that line together. With a trembling breath, I whispered, "I don't know." It felt real, or as real as I dared to believe. I struggled to understand what had transpired and why it felt so wrong, yet so right. In that moment, I felt the weight of 1,000 unspoken words, knowing that nothing would ever be the same again. The silence lingered as we parked in the driveway, heavy with unspoken words. The engine fell silent as I did, yet we remained frozen in place, caught in a moment that felt both electric and wrong. Leo's gaze lingered on me, a spark of something unspoken hanging in the air. There was a haunting depth in his gaze that sent shivers down my spine. It was something deeper, a longing that felt both thrilling and wrong. It was a longing. For what seems like an eternity, my heart has whispered your name in the shadows. His question sent a chill down my spine. I couldn't shake the thought that lingered in my heart. When I gazed into his eyes, a hidden part of me ignited. "I'm torn," I whispered gently. "Maybe I may have lingered longer than I should have." In the shadows, we lingered, the unspoken words hanging heavy between us. A tension that felt both thrilling and wrong. I thought that was the final chapter. We were about to step inside, to erase the moment, to pretend it never existed. But Leo had a different plan in mind. His lips brushed against mine, stealing the moment before I could escape inside. It began with uncertainty. He moved slowly, as if terrified that any sudden motion would make me vanish. I just couldn't. I surrendered to his kiss, and he responded with a longing that took my breath away. At that moment, everything unraveled. It was the ache of solitude, the emptiness of years without care, or the way Leo's gaze ignited something deep within me, something I hadn't felt in ages. I surrendered to the pull of it, unable to resist the allure that felt both thrilling and wrong. He drew me in, just outside our home, his hands gliding over me as if they were meant to be there. For the first time in ages, a spark ignited within me, filling my heart with a rush of forbidden thrill, yearned for. It lingers, a fleeting moment that stirs the heart. Nothing else held any significance. I can't say how much time slipped away while we were trapped in that moment. But eventually, we crossed the threshold together. I barely recall how I reached the door. Only the warmth of his hand in mine and the charged silence that enveloped us. Once they crossed the threshold, everything spiraled deeper into chaos. It felt as if we had been trapped in silence. And at last, the dam broke, releasing everything we had kept hidden. The dam had shattered, unleashing a torrent of unspoken feelings. After that, the days felt heavy with unspoken words. Leo was always near, his fingers brushing against mine, his gaze lingering on me when the world faded away. I tried to convince myself to walk away, but each glance at him pulled me deeper into the void we both shared. We were reflections of longing, each glance igniting a fire I couldn't resist. I couldn't help it. As I lay beside Ethan in the dim light, my gaze drifted to the ceiling, captivated by the rhythm of his quiet breaths. A secret moment that felt both tender and forbidden. My thoughts were consumed by Leo. His touch ignited a spark within me, awakening feelings I thought were lost forever. Though guilt coiled tightly within me, it couldn't quell the fire that urged me forward. I understood the danger, the fleeting nature of it all. Yet I found myself irresistibly drawn in. Our connection frayed until silence enveloped us completely. As I stood at the kitchen sink, the warm water slipping through my fingers, I tried to drown out the thoughts swirling in my mind. Ethan was working late, and Lily was peacefully asleep, but my heart felt heavy with unspoken words and stolen glances. Leo was so close. I could feel the heat of his presence behind me. His gaze held the same intensity as that moment on the beach when I turned to face him. I whispered to Leo, my heart racing, "Please, be careful." But he stayed, heart racing, caught in the moment. He leaned in, his breath brushing against my skin, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and dangerous. She whispered, "Mom, you're always on my mind." A chill swept through me. My heart raced, threatening to break free from my chest. I whispered for him to wait, to retreat to his room and let me be. I knew I shouldn't have spoken those words, yet they slipped out anyway. I can't help myself. That's when everything fell apart. Leo's lips brushed against mine again, igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and dangerous. This time, it aches deeper, a longing that feels almost wrong. I kissed him in a moment that felt both electric and wrong. I found a thrill in the wrongness of it all. I pushed aside thoughts of Ethan, Lily, and the world we once shared. Everything revolved around Leo, my secret, the one who, after so long, made me feel cherished and alive. Everything changed the moment we stepped onto that sand. And now, normal feels like a distant memory. I fear it may never happen. Leo and I crossed a line, and now there's no turning back. The ache of shame lingers, a constant reminder that cuts deep. Yet, I can't help but chase after it. That's what fills me with the deepest dread. Every day, I watch Ethan and Lily, my heart aching as I question how they remain oblivious to the truth that lingers between them. They remain blissfully unaware of the fractures hidden beneath our surface. Perhaps they are lost in their own worlds. Or maybe I've just learned to conceal my feelings more effectively. I can feel it slipping away. Even as we hold on tight, whispers of hidden truths linger in the air, waiting to break free. When the moment comes, everything will shatter. I thought I could walk away. I keep reminding myself that this is a mistake, that Leo and I should seek something more. Yet every time his fingers brush against my skin or his gaze locks onto mine, I forget everything else and feel like I'm the only one in his world. He makes me feel more alive than I have in years. Maybe forever. That's the reality I must confront. This feels shattered, and I'm lost on how to mend it. My heart races at the thought, but doubt lingers in the shadows. This is why I must share this tale. I long for someone to uncover the truth, a secret I've yet to consider. I need you to save me from this chaos before it consumes us both. Please reach out if you have any advice or know someone who has faced a similar situation. This is a caution, a whisper of what could unfold. Loneliness can lead you to unexpected, heart-stirring encounters. Don't let it consume you the way it consumed me. Don't let the pieces shatter before you see the truth hidden in the shadows. Once you step over that edge, there's no turning back. Thank you for listening to my heart. Whisper your thoughts, but tread lightly. Some secrets are meant to be kept close to the heart. If this video touched your heart, give it a like and follow for more moments that linger. I long for a connection, a spark that reminds me I'm not alone in this world. Sometimes, the deepest betrayals are the ones we inflict upon ourselves. We all find ways to hurt ourselves, don't we? Juachki leboy terboscribe. AI. Hai nang kaplain fian ban kong yoy hanjik soajin hangrao kantare.